Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I'm Paula from MoxyMojo, and we are working on my Q2 planner. So we're getting it all ready for use on the 1st of April. I've been through, and now I'm using these are all double-sided photo paper, and I've printed my monthly planner pages onto these. I have inked them using re-inkers, the Distress Oxide and Distress Ink, and there's an earlier video on those or the process that I do for that you can see, and you can also see it for my Q1 planner as well for January, February, March. So this is starting for April, and we're now going to do that cover page. So this will fold like this, and this will be the start. This page will be the start of my month. So I've just got this sheet of paper here. It's exactly the same size, just folded in half so that I know how much space I've got. So all I'm going to do is turn this sideways, because if you've seen my Q1 planner pages, I've got my titles going this way. I'm going to try the black pen. I'm hoping it will show on all the months. My concern is the second month, which is May. I had to think about that a bit. But we'll give it a go. So we've got January, February, March. So this is April. I need to just have a quick try. So we've got April, May, and June. And I don't know if this is the same pen that I used. Okay, we're going with one of those. Right, so it's April, May, June. Luckily they are short months. We're picking this one. And April. That P looks really big, but that's okay. And why not just do a... Okay, so now we've got that on there. Let's just, do all the months, because this is what I did last time. So put the pages away. So I'll just keep these pages out. So that's April. Now this is up the right way. This one I honestly don't know that I'm going to see the black pen. So do I try the white? We'll give it a go, because it's only a short word. Right, okay, so that's there. April, May, alright. And then the one that I thought would be the darkest, now that's the right one, but it's not. So that line's up there, and this is June. And this is my encouragement for you to use your own handwriting, even if it's just a title. It's one page, well actually it's two, because what we're going to do is now flip them over, funnily enough, and write on here. So this is April. So we're going to come on here and go April. And if you don't like it, you can go over the letter. There we go, April. Now, this is May. Ugh, apologies for the squeaky noise. And June. There we go. Done. Nice. That was simple. Ha ha ha. So, it's only handwriting in 2 places. Now, next we need our stamp thingy. What have I been writing on there? Okay, so we're going to use this side because it doesn't have any holes poked in it. So now we're going to do our stamping on top. So I've got 4 sets of numbers here, plus a wooden one, which of course I can't put on there because it doesn't stick, so I do that last. We are going to be using, for this, Distress Embossing Powder and Dried Marigold. So because I'm using the Distress Embossing Powder, we're going to reach into here for that Distress Embossing ink, funnily enough. And we'll get that out for when we need it next, because I've found that it works best for the Distress Embossing Powder. So now I've placed these ones out already, and we're going to stamp this across there. Okay, so directly over the top. So make sure we have got good ink coverage on these stamps. Hopefully not too much on the stamp block itself. Put that there. And now we are going to press, and I just want to cover the word April. So this is why it doesn't matter so much if you don't like your handwriting, because we're going to cover it with embossing powder and kind of hide what's underneath. Not completely, but a little bit. Ooh, potentially a little bit at this stage. Alright, so hopefully that's given us good coverage. We can't actually tell. And then I'm just going to grab out a wet wipe. Apologies for the binging and crashing. Our neighbours are moving out, and so they've got a big rubbish bin, and they're throwing out a whole lot of stuff. I've got no idea what they're throwing out. I am sorely tempted to go over and say, "Hi, I'm a junk journaler. What have you got, and what are you throwing out?" But I know my husband would throw his hands up in horror and say, "You already have enough stuff." So I'm going to have to trust that they're not throwing out anything that is junk journal worthy, even though they possibly are. Now, this went that way, so I need to hopefully look for where my stamp is, and so that's there. So I need to put my stamp in there. So I'm going to stamp on there. Hopefully not get, I've got a lot on the background, so I'll just have to be careful. So I can see one stamp. I'm going to push that in there. Try not to push too much of the background down, just the stamp itself or the image itself. Right, there we go. So that's that. So I'm using dried marigold and the Distress Embossing Powder, which I mentioned before. Now, these were gifted to me. No, gifted? Yes, they were. They were gifted to me by a very dear friend who bought them but then decided that she didn't like them. And I went, yes please, pass them in my direction. And then I haven't really used them. So I am jumping at the chance to use them now. Right, so what am I looking for? A pen will do. I just want to make sure. Really don't know how much coverage I've got. I might need to do a second coat. So I'm not going to remove any of the stamps. Good thing I haven't done, because yeah, we could be in trouble. Right, okay, here we go. Let's yeah, that did not turn out at all. Right, we definitely need to do this again. Okay, so luckily we still have everything in its place. I mean, the only one I can really see is the fall from the wooden one, and even that really needs to be re-inked. This one is almost invisible. That one's even worse, and that one I can't see at all. Right. Okay, let's try Versamark this time. See if we have any more luck with that. Might be, maybe it needs to be more sticky. Right, can we get this over the top of this one? Excuse me if my head is in the way. Hopefully that is over the top of that last impression. Really pushing down this time. If this doesn't work, then we need to come up with something else. Alright, so that's that one. And very quickly. Oops. Is this one maybe not? No, I don't want to risk it. So, but we have other ways of doing it. So let's just do these. Oops, don't need to put that on just yet. That looks a bit better. Okay. Right, now leave that off for a minute, because what we want is, tucked in my pencil case, is an embossing pen. So I am going to go over the top. Hopefully that will do. I'm going to go over everything again, just to be sure. That looks a lot better. And I mean, sometimes that's what you need to do is emboss it twice, and no big deal. Get that out of the way because I believe that this will work. Put that over there. Right. Awesome. That's cool. Oops, there we go. Now it's not quite as see-through as if I had used a glaze, but that's cool. I still like it. It's still quite light here, but that's kind of okay given that we're going over the writing. And I mean, I can still see quite clearly that it's April. Right, so we'll put this one aside. Now we need to swap over our numbers. So now I make sure I put them back. Hang on, move that paper in case it's still got like embossing powder on it. Yep, that'll look okay because May's quite short. Yep. Okay, right. So, now for this, I am using Rusty Hinge in the Distress Glaze. Do I want this one, or actually, no, I might go, it's a dark chocolate brown. No, I think I want I'll use the Rusty Hinge because that's more reddy. Although, I mean, because I have got a red, but I think it's like a glitter red, and I don't want a glitter on here. So, let's go. Okay, now that looks really thick coverage, apart from a couple of gaps there, but that's okay. Alright. I think a lot of it is because this is fresher than what that Distress embossing powder is, because I only bought this like in November last year, whereas I've had the other for some time and I've got no idea how long my friend had it for. Like it. I mean, it almost looks quite a dark red on there now, even though I know it's a brown. It looks quite cool. I definitely need to build up my supplies of these glazes. I love them. Right, last but not least, we have June. So we'll bring you back. And this time for this one, I'm going to be using a mixed media inks by Donna Salazar, and this is called Colour Leather. And I've had this one for a while too, so I don't know if you can still get it, but the colour is just divine. This is a great way of using up all your stamps that maybe you've had for a while and but you don't know what to do with them. I mean, something like this is a perfect way of using up a whole lot of stamps, or using a whole lot of stamps in a way that you wouldn't normally think to use them. But by using them all like this, all at once, it's great. They look so good to keep together. Don't want to upset anyone with this number and, you know, have people saying it's the sign of the devil, because it's not. It is purely just a collection of the number 6. Different versions and fonts of it. So please don't go complaining in my comment section. And hopefully that is all we need. Now here we go. I'm not sure how far I need to go. Oops, just about used all of it. Or at least tipped it out onto the page. Right. Now this one here might be too dark and I might not be able to see the writing underneath. But that's okay. There's got to be one. Okay, now I'm quite pleased that that has gone like a little bit more hollow. Think of the word before you speak, Paula. On this 6 here, you can see the June under there when you hold it on the right angle. You see it there, but it also kind of disappears at times too. It's like magical. I love this colour in the like high melt bits where it's got really full coverage. It looks stunning, but it also looks really cool in this broken apart. So yeah, I'm glad I picked that. So 5, 6, 5 and 4. So that is our 3 cover pages. All completely different, which I really kind of like. So thank you for joining me for this. What I'm going to do now is write in all the days of the month here, and on my weeks. You don't need to see me do that, you can all count. And I will give you a quick flick through once I've done that, to show you how it looks. But other than that, all I need to do now is find the extra pages, and then we'll be ready to decide if I'm decorating or just going to put it in the journal like this, because I do actually quite like this. Okay, be back to show you the finished thing. Okay, so I've finished filling in all the dates for each of the months, so I'll just quickly show you those. So I filled in all the dates according to the calendar. We've then got all the dates for the weeks filled in, so we've got 4 weeks on there, and then there's no extra week on there, so that's April. Same for May. We've got the first week there. We've got here. Now one day I did feel that I couldn't write it in the black because it was just too dark, so I've just written that day in white. It's just the one day there, and you can understand why. You can barely see the S for Sunday, and then that's blank, so it doesn't matter. And there, so that's May, And then finally we've got June. So we've got our month there. So we've got our first week, has only got the 1 day in there. So then we've got our week 2, week 3. Then we've got our extra week, week 4, week 5, and week 6. So week 6 and week 1 have only got 1 day in each, which is, you know, kind of awkward. And you can see that on the month, so 1 day there, 1 day there. But that's just how the calendar works out. So that's why on the back of here I've put that extra week, and I allowed for that and knew it had planned for it, so knew that was going to happen. But it won't happen in the last 2 quarters. It only happens in the first 2 quarters, and I figure that, you know, that's a rotating thing. All depends on where they happen to fall based on where the month starts. So really pleased that we've got all of that done. My next move is to find the pages that are going to go in between these here. So I'm going to have 2 pages in each, so I need 6 pages per month, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to do any page decorating, any further page decorating, and then it will be sew my journal together. So I think that's going to look pretty cool in this journal cover. Although, given the colours, I may decide to change the cover, because I love this cover and it was going to be for something else. And even though it'll look okay, I'm just torn as to, you know, whether I want to do another cover. I've still got plenty of time. It's not the end of the month. But at least I've got the pages all ready to go in whatever cover I do decide on. But it will be one of these paper bag in journal covers where there's the paper bag inside and then fabric on both sides, and potentially a big pocket, because I quite like the big pockets even though I haven't used it. So yeah, that's where we're at. I still am working in this quarter's journal. I've got some photos that I want to get printed out, and I'll put those in because I haven't really been doing any of that kind of thing so far. I'm still getting my head around how it all works. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing this process, and I will be back with another video on the extra pages, decorating them if I decide to, and sewing it all together. Binding it all together, if you like. So I will see you back in the studio for that, but it's bye for now. See you later.